Was driving home one night and was on a country road coming back home, and he would say something kind of crossed the road like a flash, just a flash, and he couldn't figure out because
Mm.
there was no light around, and he couldn't figure out what it was. So he ran off the road. Luckily, no ditch was in the area, but he ran off the road trying to find out where it is. He said he didn't even try to get out of his car.
Yeah, that's how we started. Funny story is like our first ever episode. It it was live, straight up. There was no
Wow.
recording. I think we did it. Well, he go by LA, so he just hit record. Well, he went live, and we were just live.
Wow.
And man, that episode we never uploaded, but I still have it. Man,
Right.
it was terrible. But as I tell other people this story, they were like, "Man, this is the best thing you could ever ask for because it quickly got you out of your comfort zone."
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Say a lot of times, like for me, this is out of my comfort zone, which I don't mind talking because I think talking is the natural way to communicate. They have other ways too, but I mean, talking is just a form of expressing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and we are social beings anyways. We
Yes.
human beings that they want to talk. They want the interaction. So body language is 70% of the communication than you actually speaking, which is very. I mean, the more I look into it, it kind of makes sense because the impressions we give up. Like, you can tell someone is upset by just looking at them.
Yes. Yes, you can. I mean, you could tell just by you're right, their emotions, the way they react to you, the way they answer you. I mean, basically, it's kind of like sending you a message. I'm not in the mood today, or I'm very happy. I feel good about myself. So those things kind of reach out and touch you.
First of all, I wanted to say thank you for coming on this Mo Money podcast. Started 2 years ago, and I just invite people if they want to talk about something. We can talk about everything. What I wanted to first ask is if you want to introduce yourself, say, where you from, your profession.
Yeah, that's fine. My name is, everybody know me by James Valera. My first name is Elroy. I'm from, originally from Louisiana. I grew up there. Born in Texas. Always wanted to come back to Texas. So finally did. And me and my wife has been here ever since. We've had 3 kids. They're adults now, graduated, living their life, doing the things they love to do. What is a blessing is that after they finished their university, once they graduated, they're in the profession that they went to school to do. And what's so special about it is that that company in Canada decided to take the bundle of them. I mean, all of them.
Mm.
And I find that a little bit unusual, but it's a blessing because they're good at what they do. They're great at what they do. Oh my God. See some of the movies they have already worked on. It's a blessing. Me and my wife, like at the end of movies, we used to just get up and take off. Now we at the end of the movies, we watch the trailer. I mean, we watch the credits and we see their names up there, and it's a proud parent moment. It is. And like I said, I feel blessed.
That's very nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're in, your kids are in Hollywood?
Yeah, actually, they live in Canada, but they do special effects. They're called CFX artists.
Mm-hmm.
And they do like animated movies, like the hair, the clothes, the background, everything in animated movies they do.
That's very impressive, man. That's
You know what
so
I'm saying?
cool.
That's what I'm saying. It's a proud parent moment. Trust me. Oh, love it, man. Love it.
Definitely.
And can't be more happy for them.
Definitely. So I didn't know you from Louisiana,
Yeah, yes.
but you born in Texas.
Yes. I probably stayed here maybe even not even 2 years after I was born. We moved to Louisiana to where my mother's father lived. He had a farm.
Mm-hmm.
So we lived on that farm till I was about 15, 18, something around that. And then he sold the farm, and eventually he passed on, and kind of he just history from there.
Wow. So you worked on a farm too?
Yes.
So how's that? How's working on a farm like? What were you used to do?
Look, when I was like 12, I used to watch my dad and my grandfathers and his sons and daughters do all the work, like feed the chickens, feed the pigs, run away from the goats. At least that's what we did.
Yeah.
And then they had a barn. We had the horses. We had cows. We had bulls. We had a mean bull. And again, once I hit 13, that was my coming out party because they made me participate in a boucherie. Boucherie basically is when they kill the pig and then they have to take all the hair off, then cut it up, and then they had this big witch's a pot full of oil or lard, Lard, I believe that's lard,
Yeah.
and they would ball it up and put all the meat in there, and they would come up with something called crackling. If anybody's been to Louisiana, they know what that is. And then they used to make their own sausage by hanging it up. So I got to participate in it. I didn't like it because it was something I'd never done before. But looking back, I didn't realize how much it did for me growing up. We had a dairy and then a butcher right down the dairy. So it's like just from getting milk from the cow to butchering a cow that quick. That's just this. It was like a process. So and we had our little unique community. It was like a little village, of course. All the in-laws were predominantly in a place called is in Lafayette, Louisiana, and it's called Long Plantation. And trust me, they meant plantations. My grandfather had a lot of land. There was another family of color. They had a lot of land, so they were kind of like smack dab against to each other. And we were the only people of color in that area. So I kind of grew up in a multi-race area, I guess you would call it. But was bused to a school where it was just people of color. And eventually, I think when I became in the fifth grade, they bused me. That's when integration happened. And I went to my first integrated school. That process right there, I'll never forget. It was one of the worst times I've ever had in school because being at a new school, person of color, that wasn't the best situation to be in. But like I said, looking back, it made me part of who I am today.
Yeah. So what year are you talking about?
This is wow, what did I say? I'd pay 65, 70, somewhere around that age, around there.
Wow.
Yeah, 65, 70.
Yeah, definitely the world was in a different place back in the day.
Yes, it
But
was. It was. It was.
yeah, a lot of racism and especially you were out in the country, right? Countryside,
Yes.
farmland.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now, again, where we were living, it was a very quiet area. Even though we were surrounded by white people, again, we were all good. I would say it like that. We were all good, and we had good neighbors, and we respected each other, and we kind of watch out for each other. So it was a blessing to have those type of neighbors because you can't see everything. They can't see everything. So that's what we call a kind of a village kind of situation. But it was, like I said, it was a experience I'll never forget. I look back and I kind of wish my kids would have at least experienced something like that. It made me able to kind of deal with most, if not everything. And not that I'm perfect, because I'm gonna make mistakes, but it helps me understand and deal with it internally. And that's what makes a big difference because I see a lot of people that I grew up with that it tore them up. Truly, it tore them up. And you could see it on their face, their bodies, everything. I've learned a lot just by watching, by noticing. And I made a decision not to let that rule my life. I can't live like that.
Yeah, it makes you toughen up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you. Oh my God. And it makes you realize you can survive because everything that they taught you just don't go away. It stays in your head. It stays in your knowledge. You know what to do, at least how to get things started. Again, I'm no pro at it, but I can survive need be.
So how long you were living in the farm?
From about 2 years old to 15, maybe.
What is the farm life look like? what time you wake up, work, and then what time you go to bed.
Well, the thing is, when it was school, of course, school came first.
Yeah.
But when summertime or the weekends, you were called at any time. And let's say, for instance, back then they just had we had the landline and a long phone cord. So sometimes my grandfather would call us, would be early in the morning. And we wouldn't have to wake up every morning because most of the work was done by adults. And so a lot of times we mowed his yard. He had a huge yard. And believe it or not, because we're his grandkids, he used to pay us 25 cents, man. 25 cents. That yard was so big. We used to go home just fussing all the way home. I can't believe we got 25 cents. But it kind of taught us something, a little humility, kind of, yeah, you may not like it, but at the same time, you have to understand it's just something you can't control. Not right now.
Well, 25 cents. I mean, this day and age seems nothing, but I'm pretty sure is heck a lot of money back in the day.
Yeah, you could have bought I think a couple of candies, maybe something to drink, something like that. But money was worth more than now. So, and like I said, it taught me a lot about life, man. Tell you, I'm proud to say it. My mom, my dad is gone, but they taught a lot, and I had to kind of grow up fast. I had to grow up fast because I was the oldest son. I had an older sister of 7 kids, so it was eye opening. Back then, I didn't like it because I had to do things I didn't appreciate. I just didn't understand. I guess that's why I didn't like it. But looking back again, just kind of made it a little bit understanding of why I had to do it because my parents worked 2 or 3 jobs a day.
Yeah. So given the opportunity, would you go back?
I'd go back, but the thing is, to go back, you would have to have the right support system. You'd have to have the right tools. It's just not simple going back. You'd have to actually be prepared to face Mother Nature, face the time, face a lot of things that goes in it. Because I was looking at it from my vantage point, and I didn't know what went into having a farm.
Yeah. Man, I want to ask you, because I heard a lot of stories about does any creepy stuff happens on farmland? Like, I'm more talking about extraterrestrial or some outside visitors.
Well,
have you?
It didn't. I mean, of course, the sky would seem a little funny at times. I've never seen anything on land, but there was some crazy, scary stuff. I don't know about extraterrestrial, and it could have been related. Who knows? But a lot of scary stuff happened, especially at night, because back then we had no light. So when it was dark, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And
man,
yeah, and we had stray dogs all over the place, and would constantly bark, trying to figure out what's going on. Some people say it was a bobcat or some sort of big animal, so we were scared to go outside. But as far as extraterrestrial, I didn't encounter anything straight up.
But have you heard about it? Maybe stories, something?
People tell stories.
What is it, man?
Like for instance, they would say something like, my cousin was driving home one night and was on a country road coming back home, and he would say something kind of crossed the road like a flash, just a flash, and he couldn't figure out because there was no light around, and he couldn't figure out what it was. And it was just gravel on the road. So he ran off the road. Luckily, no ditch was in the area, but he ran off the road trying to find out where it is. He said he didn't even try to get out of his car. He just spun and really tried to get home as quick as possible. I mean, I've heard other stories. I've watched specials, but other than what I've heard that one time, I didn't hear too much of it. I've heard they had like mutated animals and or people you had to watch out for. Like they used to call him they call him the Rougarou. And Rougarou is like the Louisiana version of Bigfoot. But the thing is, this one, the Rougarou is kind of mixed with wolf, could be bear. It's a mixture. It kind of represents Louisiana, because it's all mixed. Because Louisiana is about being mixed most of the time.
Yeah.
They may not want to admit it, but that's what Louisiana is. It's kind of a mix, a gumbo. etouffee type of thing. So it's and then it would be a human 1 second and it would turn into a rougarou. And some people said that it would kill you and take you and or just scare the hell out of you. So a lot of times at night, we would hear things and we'd think it was the rougarou. So everybody in Louisiana has heard about the rougarou. And if they didn't, I'm not sure where they've been because that's a folklore that has been around for ages.
Has anybody seen this thing in person?
They claim people have seen it, but there's never any evidence, in my opinion. They see footprints. Yeah, I watch some of these specials on Louisiana, like the Rougarou, and they show distant visions of what they think is Rougarou footprints. Their foot is just as big as Bigfoot. So they take pictures of, they see footprints and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of all over the place, but at the same time, I don't think anybody really took a really clear picture of the Rougarou.
So do they walk on 2
Yes,
feet?
2 feet. 2 feet.
Okay.
Yes, yes, they're just as big as Bigfoot. That's why I say they're kind of to me in the same family because nobody. I mean, everybody has their own versions of Bigfoot and what Bigfoot is about and how he looks, but at the same time, nobody really, for what I understand, knows 100% true what and how and what about Bigfoot. I don't know if I just never seen any absolute proof.
Man,
of course.
Have you ever encountered anything like that when you were on the farm?
Yeah, we used to go hunting. A bunch of guys. We used to get together. We were small. We were just like teenagers. We'd go in the woods and just hunt. We'd shoot everything that moved with BB guns, and pellet guns. We would never have an actual real gun, so we would shoot anything that moved. So we would we'd go camp out in the woods also. So we would hear a lot of different weird sounds and
Man,
everybody's up. And because back then they told us they had bears. Some people say we had bears, we had wolves, we had some sort of tiger or related to tiger, but nothing concrete, nothing 100% proof.
so y'all would go out camp and hunt.
Yeah. Yes.
What were y'all hunting?
Anything that moved. We're just out there having
Birds
fun,
and
cutting up, birds, squirrels, you name it. Again, we would shoot at them just to kind of scare them.
yeah, they had
But
hogs there.
yes, wild hogs too. We had on the farm, we had pigs, hogs, what have you. We had them there. They were huge, man. I mean, big. They could run over you.
Dang.
Yeah, they could run over you. It's like a halfback or fullback in football. Just run straight over you.
Do they bite?
Yeah, they do. They do. It bit my aunt. It bit my aunties because they had pigs too on the back of her leg, and that mark never left her foot. Never left her leg. And that was a pig that bit her. I think it was a pig that bit her. And, like I said, never went away.
Right, man. So I didn't know they got because this is what I heard every time I watch something farm or talk to people about like their farm life. They're like, oh yeah, a lot of creepy stuff going on, but yeah, there is no solid evidence of they seeing a beam light or
Yes.
some sort of being coming down, but they
Yes.
have stories,
Yes.
and most of the time is they're saying their electronics don't work. Even though they put cameras, they put whatever laser and infrared and all that.
Yeah.
Whenever this moment happens, the electronic just don't work or shuts off. So nobody's able to actually record anything. We have very few evidence, but you gotta have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, because I think sometimes it's a little bit kind of coincidence that those things happen, but they claim it's because it's the electronic signal is being jammed by whatever entity that's there. You just don't know if it's actually true or not. But like you said, nobody's ever taken a really factual picture.
But you haven't seen anything with your own eyes. You just heard stories.
Yes.
Have you seen Rougarou?
I've never seen the Rougarou.
But you never encountered.
Never. Like I said, we've been in the woods a lot. You see things broken, pushed down, but never anything that says this is the Rougarou or
Yeah.
even look like it.
Man, one of this video I was watching, someone's talking about it's about farm. They were in a farm. I forgot the place. They did mention the place. They were saying their animals just getting mauled, mutated, and but there's no blood. Like
Right.
whoever the thing was cleaning them off, they didn't left any sort of blood or meat. It was just bones and the skin,
Yes.
and it seems like all the meat was gone.
Yeah. It seems as though, like, my understanding, the way I see it, is that the blood is the most important thing
Mm.
because blood is life, and without it, you have none.
Not even a
So,
drop.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is so weird. Again, it's very, I guess, questionable at times.
Have you
But
seen an animal in your farm with that
no,
got eaten
no,
like that? Okay,
never did, never did,
but
never did.
a neighbor's farm or heard stories.
Now, I've heard my cousin had a farm in the outskirts of country from where I used to live at. That they had a bear that was loose, and the bear mauled the pig. And he showed us back then it was just a regular camera, so they showed us pictures of the mauled pig or something to that effect. I was still young, and I just heard about him saying that, so I don't know if it's factual or not. But that's the closest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, cause I be hearing I hear stories, especially farmland, because there's nobody out there. Like there's no urban life there.
No.
It's just gigantic lands
Yes.
and acres of land, and
Yes.
you know you can do whatever.
It's a
But
roaming. You call it a roam-free area.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I would not doubt it. They have things like that at all. Because one thing I won't do is close my eyes to possibilities because nobody really knows what else is out there.
yeah,
We can speculate, we can think we know, but nobody really knows. Besides, we had a lot of wild dogs or stray dogs in our area. So if anything was in the fields, those dogs would just
you
pretty
know.
much tear it up.
Yeah.
They would tear it up. They would tear it up.
Oh
They
yeah,
would tear
yeah.
it up.
Wow. Well, so do y'all have Walmart and grocery stores and all that?
Back then, it wasn't Walmart. It was some other stores. It was a kind of a country store. We had different type of grocery stores. It wasn't a big conglomerate like Walmart. They had other type of stores back then. Stores showed groceries, clothes, stuff like that. It wasn't as big as it is now at all.
Yeah. Man, so this is amazing, and then it's fresh air, right? There's no more pollution on the farm. Whatever you breathe in is healthy. Do y'all grow food too?
Yes. Well, I remember, barely remember, on a horse-drawn wagon. I was in the back of the wagon. My grandfather had a land of peppers.
Hmm.
And they used to pick peppers. So I used to sit on the back of the wagon as they would pick their basket full, and then he would get it back and then sell it. And so, and then that was a form of making money because again, that's what they do. So a lot of times we did that with eggs also. They had a large chicken coop, and they would get eggs, sell fresh eggs, stuff like that. So it was just a form of making a living.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's so amazing. So when you move to urban cities, how was your experience coming from farm to the city?
Well, it was kind of like once I grew up, buildings started to kind of catch up,
Hmm.
and the country was kind of like vanishing away because we had houses popping up, we had businesses popping up, and eventually it got to a point where the country was pretty much part of the city. So they went. So it was a lot of stores, a lot of convenience that was there as I grew up. So I can go to a store, buy whatever I wanted within a mile, 2 miles. So it got to that point. The farm kind of vanished because I think their soul kept on selling it to different. They created income by selling it for real estate. So eventually that kind of took over the farm.
So the farm that you grew up don't exist anymore?
No, I wish.
Wow.
Trust me. But yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I wish, truly, I did.
Wow.
I would love to go back there, but it's just not there anymore.
And you said what part of Louisiana?
It's Lafayette, in Lafayette, Louisiana. It's kind of the south, the heart of Louisiana, kind of like in the middle, but the south.
Right.
And then
Cool.
that's yeah, it's like about an hour and a half from New Orleans.
Okay. Okay. Man, yeah, that's cool. So you came over here in the city. Did you go to school over here too?
I went to technical schools. I never went to university.
Okay.
It was just not, it was at that time I was, oh my God, I was still learning a lot about things about life. And I was making some good and bad decisions, but you know, you learn from those things. But one thing I made sure is my kids went to university.
Right.
But the technical school I went to was great. I mean, it did really good for me. And I really enjoyed messing with computers because I started building computers and went to school, got my A plus, got my network plus. It's been years ago, like years ago. So I got with this company that we both work for right now years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been kind of history from there. But yeah, it's if I could do it again, I probably would do it that way. I just like I said, I wasn't crazy about universities.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I mean, it's life is just once. You know, you make choices, you learn from it. I know a lot of people. They're just sometimes I don't really blame it. You know what I think? Sometimes it's and I don't want to come off as a controversial or something negative, but sometimes free will, because of free will, people ended up closing the door for their opportunities
Right.
or their success.
I hear you. I hear you.
And that's not a good thing or bad thing. That's not either. I'm just saying.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
It's
saying.
more like a deep thought.
Yeah. It's like when you're growing up, it's like you feel like you don't have enough time. Everything's moving too fast, and you're just trying to stay up with what's going on, and you're learning from things that comes your way.
Right.
And like I said, a lot of times I was more hands-on because no matter what they taught me in school, the technical school, until I put my hands on it, it just did not stick.
Yeah. No, I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking in general.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. I was saying in general, I think some people are like that too. They got to they got to touch it, got to grab it.
Yeah.
Maybe it is for them. Maybe it's not. I knock anyone that
That's
goes to a university or don't. I just don't.
right.
But I understand what you're talking about too.
That's how most people learn, like touching
Yeah.
stuff. Like you know how I mean the great example, we have babies like till they start like touching the floor, so they start walking. They won't learn how to walk till the baby take their first step. They take it, and then right after that, what happens? They fall, and then they get up. That's so it's all part of the life. You know, I think failure just had a bad name. Failure doesn't mean you fail, you suck, and quit it. It's more like you learn what not to do.
Yep, that's true. Because I've always heard your cliffs, your high points is great. Enjoy it. But the things that you really learn from is when things don't go your way or you fall. Let's say you're in the valley for a temporary time. The
Right.
word is temporary
Right.
because you don't stay in the valley. But the valley is made up of lessons in life that you need to gather and just understand what direction you want to go in. Whether it's this way, that way, whatever it is, that valley teaches you more than you realize. A lot of people don't like being in the valley, but I always say, being in the positive things working for you, that's great. Everybody want to be there. But I'm telling you, in order to be well-rounded, whether to be balanced, you got to understand when the valley hits, you have to kind of balance yourself and say, you know what, I understand what's going on, but I understand how to get back up because it's always about pushing yourself back up. But the valley to me is just temporary. It's always temporary. I just don't understand being there and sitting there and just not trying to learn what is put in front of you because lessons are all over the place. I have a saying, when I stop learning, I stop living. I have to keep on learning.
Exactly. I mean, this is a very powerful message because learning never stops.
Yes.
It never
always
stops. You
Always there.
always have something to learn in every moment, every situation. And then also, well, I actually want to ask you, what do you see? So how much change have you seen
True.
from where you were to where we sitting now? We
Yeah.
can talk about technology,
Right.
the world affairs, whatever.
Yeah. When I grew up, my thing was, when you're growing up, everything is kind of like you want to be with your friends. You want to go out and have fun. You want to go out, have a drink, date, go out and work, make a living. And as you grow, at least for me, as I grew, I realized that I call it sometimes a game you play when you're dating and or just out there, just being how can I say, a dog about things. You realize that that's just something that you're going through. You can't stay there. You have to learn and be ready to move on because family is coming your way, or family maybe not, but nevertheless, the future is coming your way. You got to be ready to grab it, understand that, and try to make the best decisions you can. And be honest with you, I see myself go from just being dating a lot, going out a lot, cutting up a lot, and not really, I guess, saving. It was just a constant going out, have fun, have fun, have
Yeah.
fun, have fun, have fun. To the point where when I got to a point, I just got tired of doing it. And that's how me and my wife met because I got tired of dating.
Yeah.
I just got tired of clubbing. I got tired of all that stuff. I didn't want no part of it anymore.
Just
So
like
I stopped, I stopped looking. I just said, no.
spending more.
Yeah. I said, nope, no more. And that's how we met because we both was in the same situation. We met through a friend and we became friends first. So, because we both wasn't looking, truly wasn't. And somewhere in that whole transition, we realized we were more alike, had the same idea of the future than anything else. And that's how we began. We've been together since 87.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a long time. Yes. And, but like I said, family started. As the family starts, you start to realize things are changing. I'm changing. And you go from a time where you're spending and just being so out there to conserving, understanding the future is coming, being prepared for the future, and trying to make the best decisions you can with you and your family. So there's a transition going from one place to another. And the way I'm at right now, I'm thankful. And like I said, if I wouldn't have learned some of the lessons I've learned about life, I'd have been in a worse situation. I'd say worse, but I could have been in a bad situation at this point. If I didn't see that, what do you call it, that picture in the sky, say you got a chance to meet this thing that's coming, then you'll never get to go back and make that change when you should have. And it was the right timing for me. I feel it was perfect timing for me because I just got it to a point I just didn't want it anymore. I needed something different. I needed to grow. And I know the growing wouldn't happen if I kept doing what I was doing in the past. And so having kids, my goodness, that's, how can I say it? That was the best thing that ever happened to me and my wife. Best thing that happened to us. My goodness, parenthood in a sense doesn't have a book. They don't have directions.
Yeah.
It's like you have to learn this by yourself.
They didn't create a guide or manual.
No, you got to learn it by yourself. And we kind of looked at each other, oh boy. And then we just made the decision we thought was best a lot of times. Sometimes it was a great decision. We made mistakes. I think everybody does. And the kids kind of look, we go back and kind of discuss it with them. Yeah, they enjoy some of the decisions we had, some of them they didn't like. And we understand, but we had to do what we thought was right.
Yeah.
So going from one area to where I'm at right now, I truly believe God put me on that path to be where I'm at right now. And he's not finished with me. Not finished with both of us. We got a lot more things to come. And we're putting like this, we don't have a stop sign to say, no, we don't want no more. We're taking it. We're looking at it. We're experiencing it. We're learning.
Yeah, always. And then you grow as when you have experience, when you have learned, you evolve. You
Yes.
see things different now.
Yeah.
I mean, great example. This is just me. I know it's probably small. I was one of my friend. He do roofing. So So he told me something about the roof designs. He said there's 3 tabs, there's singles, and then when he keep asking me, do you see anything different? I was like, nah, I mean they all look the same. Then he pointed out the difference. And then since then, I can never unsee it. Every time it that's how so I took that as example, or that's how life work. When you see something, you can unsee it, meaning you have learned, you have experienced it. Now you look at the world a different way.
There you go.
And you
There
can
you go.
take that to any aspect of your life.
Yes.
Finance, work,
Uh,
at spending money, clubbing, whatever.
yeah.
Once you become aware, I think awareness is the most important part
Yes,
of learning. First, I mean, if you want to make any sort of change in life, you gotta be first aware
that is true.
of the things of the past. If you just unaware, like what type of change you gonna make?
Yeah, if you just sitting there and just not willing to soak up like a sponge anything that's coming your way, especially if it's something new you've never seen before.
Right.
Those things happen because they're trying to get you, trying to show you. Because to me, the universe is a very unique thing. You put something in the universe, and it kind of like if you see it, expect it, it comes to you. And it's kind of like if you're a positive person, because I try to spin everything positive.
Right.
Even the things that I think anger some people, just I try to spin it positively, not perfectly, just positively, and say, you know what, yeah, this happened, but there is another side to this. There's another way you can look at it. There's another way you can deal with it. It's how you deal with things. It's not sometimes the actual thing that happened. It's how you deal with it. It's how you get back up. And that right there keeps you sane. It keeps you focused and keeps you understanding that that's really the one of the purpose of life is to learn and to understand not everything is going to be a perfect picture, but you can still learn from it.
So let's say if you want to give yourself, let's say you go back 20 years and you tell your younger you that, hey, if you want to give your younger you any advice, what would
Yes.
that be?
The only thing that in 2008, I got hit pretty hard with everything crashed. Probably would have, I would say, I would have split my investments way better, way different than what I would have done there.
Mm.
Because I lost a good bit because I kind of put most of my eggs in one basket. And I've learned that probably wasn't the smartest idea. But again, I'm still learning. I didn't understand it like I understand it now. It's not like I understand it great now, but I know more now than I knew then. I kind of hindsighted. And because hindsight is kind of like they always tell me, hindsight is always 2020. So, but I would have done things a little different for sure. And I probably, be honest with you, probably moved back to Louisiana.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you didn't like it over here at all back in
No, it's
2008?
just, the thing is, it wasn't, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that most of my family still, they were in Louisiana and they were still, the bulk of them was still there. So I would have, because right now, I don't live by any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The closest part is Louisiana. So I would have gone back. I think it would have even helped, even though my kids are very well versed. It would have even promoted, it would have pushed them even further. Just knowing more family than anything else, because we live so far away from each other, my brothers and sisters, and even my wife, brothers and sisters. It's kind of hard getting together. But if 20 years ago, they would have been still in Louisiana. So I would have probably moved back to Louisiana for that purpose. Yeah, moved back because the opportunities were there. We're not the reason why we moved to Texas. Two things, because I wanted to come back here because I was born here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Louisiana, the jobs and careers was barely there. It was just nothing there.
Yeah.
So we felt moving. We moved here in '88, and because the jobs were here was just massive. We had a better opportunity to make a good living here. But right now, they have grown so much in Louisiana. If it was back then, we probably wouldn't have never moved.
Right.
But again, that was one of the reasons we moved because Texas had a lot more opportunities to make a good living.
Yeah. That's that's pretty cool, man. And then we talk about like finance. I remember one time I shared that with you is listen, don't it's not a get rich quick scheme.
Right.
It's very steady. And then remember reality, because I will go ahead and pop your bubble. Not you, but
Mm-hmm.
like, to
Yeah.
the listeners. Like,
I got you.
this is not something you invest $100 and make 10,000. No, that's never gonna happen. It's this is how, the way I see it is, it will take you thousands with the S to make 100, just single 100. It will take you millions to make thousands, and it will take you billions to make millions. So when you gonna start? That's and I tell that to everybody who likes to, like, talk about, oh man, yeah, this investing. And so I also want to put a disclaimer. This is not an investment advice.
No,
We're
I
not
understand.
professional investor. We just sharing
No.
our experience, and this is our
Exactly.
opinions to what
Yes.
happens. And it's so different when I got into a little bit of investment. And it's also, you have to diverse. There's not just one bucket you're gonna keep throwing your eggs in. What if that fall? So you need some another bucket to bounce back on.
Exactly.
So my journey was $50. I started with $50. Now I got a lot more in investment, of course, but is when I become aware, when I feel a need to learn more.
Exactly.
I start picking up books. I start doing research. Got more tools. Got this. Make myself more aware on when it comes to investments. And I got a couple of, if someone wants to just be their own boss, I got a couple of books I can recommend to start.
Yes.
But it's like you have to start somewhere, and it's never too late.
Yeah. You're doing your due diligence,
Yeah. Look at
and
Warren
that's,
Buffett.
yes.
My man worth billions of dollars. I mean, we got our first trillionaire.
Yes.
Elon, he has a quote. He said that he had less than 10% probability that SpaceX gonna survive, but he still give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And look at where he is, our first trillionaire. So that's a very powerful quote I got, that, hey, probably gonna fail, but you should give it a try.
Yeah, because part of growing is like I said, falling down and getting back up. Part of growing. That's growing.
I mean,
if he fails, he'll get back up and try something else or try again.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you got examples after example, real world example. I mean, you look at Trump. He was down $1 billion, and he said that he was walking down, and he looked at the homeless guy, and he said that this guy is actually richer than me. He was negative $1 billion, and the homeless guy was sitting at zero. I'm saying, so it's like, how much you gotta work to even that negative billion out till you start making money. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's like you're in a hold. First, you got to try to climb out of the hole first,
but
and then
what I see things in common in these individuals is they never stop taking actions.
That's true.
I mean, people, folks over here just like give up, or like, oh no, I failed. That's it. I won't do it again. Give up, not do anything about it. But there are people who lost billions of dollars and they're worth more. Now,
survival. They know how to survive. They know how to get back up.
Warren Buffett had lost. He had made bad deals, but those good deals that he made had made him more money compared to the bad deals he had. I mean, look at Berkshire. So that's just never stop taking actions. I think that is the message. Yeah, you learn, but what are you gonna do to improve?
You got the tools.
We have the tools.
What are you gonna do with those tools? What are you gonna do with them tools? Those tools are there for a reason.
We got AI now that scrape through the internet, scrape through whatever. AI, I think people. I don't know if you saw the reports, because all the companies got into that AI. Yeah, everybody getting AI. They're wiping their labor's employment, because you see layoffs here and there. But I think Uber just had a story that they eat up all their yearly quota for AI in 4 months. They use all their tokens. They're supposed to last them for a year. In 4 months, Now AI ended up costing them more than the labor force.
Gotcha.
So you think, like, I think someone got sold pretty heavily, and now they're seeing it's a cause and effect. They're seeing the effects of it, and think they want their people back.
See, that's what me and my wife was talking. So, okay, so let's say, for instance, okay, AI takes over everything. So my question is, if AI takes over everything, who's going to be buying your product or using your product if we don't have income ourselves? So it's like you're creating a vicious circle that the only person that can buy your stuff is yourself, because you're not making any money. So it's kind of a kind of weird way to not say weird, but it's kind of an unusual understanding of, I want to take over everything, but then who's going to buy my product? Oh my God!
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Not only AI ended up costing them more.
Yes.
Because remember, your utility gonna go up, plus the subscription and tokens and all that you have.
That's some crazy stuff, man.
So I think AI people thought it wrong, or they now they're coming to realize that AI is just a tool. It's not gonna replace human. We are, or probably it will, but we are not even close to that. Farther in the future, it might. It's just like, it's just like giving tools to the plumber. That's what AI is. It's just he using this tool so he can finish his job quickly, effectively.
Correct. I definitely understand.
Unless doing it with hands.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
So,
but, like I said, this is a first for me. I mean, like I said, doing this podcast it's a first time for me. I'm glad that I did it or doing it, and it feels good because, like I said, this is definitely out of my comfort zone, and I really appreciate that, brother.
Hey, no problem, man. Most important thing in making any decisions or whatever you want, be patient. Of course, take action, but be patient.
You have to. Because one thing I always said, before I had kids, I had all the patience. I could stand in a corner and sell, and just people throw patience here. You can take them, and still full. My kids took my patience away. It's like I didn't have anything. But then I understand that the way patience work is actually something that is self-driven.
Yeah.
So you got to tell yourself, you got to get that patience back. And so that's been happening. It feels good because a lot of times I'm just not in it, and not just it's like at work sometimes I'm just not in it, and I'm impatient to leave, to go. Sometimes I have to understand that I'm here for a reason, and so I gotta do what I gotta do, and don't be impatient about being and doing things, because sometimes it's what your growth is, and sometimes you just got to keep on. Let life show you what's next sometimes. I mean, other than looking out for yourself, but sometimes you have to just be patient. That life kind of shows you what you need to do, what you have to do, because with lack of patience comes frustration, and frustration kind of leads you to make sometimes mistakes because you're so frustrated. And so you have to kind of take a step back and say, you know what? I have to do this wisely. I have to try to make sure I make the right moves. I have to learn from my mistakes. And with those two things together, if they're on your case, sometimes it could make life a whole lot heavier than it really is.
Yeah.
And
hey, man,
fun, brother.
I really appreciate you coming on this Mo Money podcast. Now, I have a thing before we end this session. Do you have any message you want to tell people that you think would help them in life?
I think first you have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. But this is how I see it, is that in order to love anybody, in order to respect everybody, you have to respect yourself, love yourself. And don't be so hard on yourself. People are going to make mistakes. Things won't come all of a sudden, just pop in one day. Sometimes it may take 2 days, 3 days. It could take a year. But the thing is, it's still in your hands. I'd rather it be in my hands than in somebody else's hands. So people, don't be so hard on themselves. Make decisions. Fall down, get up. Just live your life and treat everyone like you want to be treated. Because to me, that's the essence of being a human. If we could all do that, this world would be a better place.
Man, that's very powerful. Before we end, I also want to say something. Take action.
Yes.
So what if you fall? So
Yes.
what it didn't work out? But you're not gonna stop there.